What is up, you all? Welcome to Unplayable, where we talk about our favorite games. Today, some Star Wars Unlimited. Guys, we have Set 3 coming so soon.
Set 3!
And I'm here with Dhaus, and he's come up with some spice for you guys that we wanted to talk through. So I'm going to throw it on over to our boy Dhaus. What you cooking over here, buddy?
Well, I love that you described it as spice, because I feel this is about as spicy as, like, ketchup. You know,
hey, salt and pepper is a spice. You heard it here first.
There we go. I'm like, this is just some normal stuff. I don't think there's anything crazy in here. But all right, so I'm gonna talk through this deck idea, and let's acknowledge something. This is really early. There's still a ton of cards to be revealed, but why should that stop us from testing ideas or talking about the cool new cards, anyways? Yeah. Right? So
you told me that you had a Rex deck built, and I was like, wait, you can do that? I was like, hold on, but we don't have the whole set. What do you mean? As I was thinking about it, I was like, man, I am hungry for just something fresh, just mix up the meta a little bit.
Right.
So I'm excited. I want to see what you got. I want to see Rex and folks.
Yeah.
And be good.
And maybe if it's interesting enough, I'll come back to it after the full set has been revealed and do another video where we could be like, oh, here's the things we didn't know were coming or whatever.
We keep 5 of the original 50 cards.
Yeah. All right. So let's first talk about why Rex. Number one,
what's he do?
Rex is cool. Like, Rex is just Rex. Yeah. Like, if you've seen any of the Star Wars animated stuff, Captain Rex is just the man. This art's sweet. And it's like I think everybody wants a good Captain Rex in this game. And so the Captain Rex that we've been spoiled is a green hero. He's got an action that costs 2. You have to exhaust him. If a friendly unit attack this phase, create a clone trooper token. And then when he flips on his other side, he flips at 5 into a 2/6, and he's a Republic clone trooper. When deployed, create a clone trooper token. And each other friendly trooper unit gets +0/+1. So the stats aren't great, and even his leader side, you have to have attacked. So you have to wonder, how much is this going to come into play? I do like the hand kind of card advantage you can maybe get from it. So I started with the idea of Rex. Okay, I like Rex. Would love to see Rex work. How do we make sure this is amazing? First thing that caught my mind was his leader side that says each other friendly trooper unit gets +0/+1. So the clone tokens are troopers. They're automatically going to be 2/3s, right? There's another card, Shakti, which is a 4-cost green hero that says each friendly token unit gets +1/+0, and she's a 3/4 Force Jedi Republic, and on attack create a clone trooper token.
And everyone knows 3/3 tokens are much stronger than 2/2 tokens. So
that is some good math, Jim. That's why we have you. You heard it here first. So anyway, so I started to wonder. I'm like, okay, could I really try to lean into the trooper thing? And there's one other card, Admiral Yularen, 3-cost green hero unit. He's a 2/5 with restore 1. Each other friendly hero unit gets +0/+1. So you know what's better than a 3/3 token, Jim? It's a 3/4. It's a 3/4. Oh. Yeah. See how we got here.
And they're not even cards from hand. You just make them.
You just make them. You just tap your fingers and they appear.
I love that. That sounds like just free value.
Yeah. So that's where we started. So there is kind of like a go wide thing happening here, and went with double green mainly because I actually really did want to play ECL in this deck, and I'll talk about that in a minute. And also, command is just a solid card to ramp into Rex. You get to the 4 resource turn, you can command, kill something, or give some experience to something, and go to 5, get out Rex. Rex comes out, he brings a clone with him. So it feels like command offers a lot. So that's why I went with the double green. There were some other double green cards I considered, but ultimately ended up scrapping them.
All right, first question for you. So they did reveal a new rare base for Set 3. We finally have new bases called the Droid Manufactory.
Yeah.
And it says, when you deploy a leader, create 2 battle droid tokens. So what I'm over here seeing is, if Rex is coming out on 5 as a 2/6, but you're making a 2/2 clone trooper, then you're making 2 1/1 battle droids. That's like 610 of stats on 5 coming out. So what was your thoughts for ECL over the Droid manufactory over there, just going very wide on that deploy turn?
Yeah, I think that's an argument to be made. The reason I didn't was because of the Yularen giving hero units +0/+1. So the battle droids will not get that buff because they are villain tokens.
Correct.
So I wanted to lean a little bit into Yularen, Shakti, Rex. Between the three of them, they're all offering a buff on the tokens. It actually does get interesting when you start thinking about manufactured soldiers. Is the 3-cost event. It's double green, which is another reason why I did double green. I should have mentioned that earlier. But it's choose one, create 2 clone trooper tokens, or create 3 battle droid tokens. Playing some games with this just for fun, proxy style. Well, it actually was a little bit of a debate of, oh gosh, do I want 2 clones or do I want 3 battle droids? And there was one game where I did 3 battle droids instead of 2 clones. Wow. And
now, is that just because the buffs hitting more things kind of fixes the your 3/3 of stats compared to 4/4 of stats?
Yeah, I guess just having more options, even just like dealing with other units. Sometimes just having stuff that can be buffed. If you can get Clone Commander Cody down, which is I was publicly like bashing Cody. So this is just me like being like, anytime I bash something, I'm like, well, maybe I can try to make it work. But
I say the first deck you build, let's put Cody in there.
The 5-cost 4/4 is terrible, right? Like you don't like it. But he's got Overwhelm and Coordinate. Each other friendly unit gets +1/+1 and gains Overwhelm. So the reason I don't mind it with Rex is because he comes out on the 5 resource turn when Rex gives the +1 extra health to Cody. So then he's a 5, which seems a little bit more reasonable. And if Cody comes down when Rex flips, Coordinate is automatically on. So you already have a clone that's 1/1 or 3/3. And offers a little bit of something, right? So, but with 3 battle droids at +1/+1, what's that math? Then you're at 6/6 instead of
That's right.
Or I guess it's both 6/6 if they're. I don't know. The math. This is where like the math of this game gets me in my head, and I disappear for a few moments. So
get out your little notepad. Just go. Okay, 2 + 1 is think.
Yeah. Right. But let me talk about the early game. There's a couple question marks I still have. So the first one is the very first card, that 3 copies of the Clone Deserter. Clone Deserter is not a trooper. It is a clone, but does not get any of the buffs. The reason I went with Clone Deserter was actually to even out the Ewing reinforcement at the end. So if at the top end of just sometimes you get the 2/3 cost, you get the Echo Base Defender, the Sundari Peacekeeper, and it's like, okay, if you get a Clone Deserter out of that seems pretty solid. But I'm not convinced this is like the best way to do this. I just don't have another option. Unless it was like maybe Maz could fit in that.
There's some other ones that have potential, because like 332nd Stalwart is a trooper. It's just a heroic card, but it would get all of the extra buffs. But it has Coordinate, then it's +1/+1.
Yeah,
so it's like,
that's true.
It's just bad when you first play, like if it's your early game play.
Because it's a 1/2. Isn't it a 1/2?
It starts as a 1/2 and then gets +1/+1 when Coordinate's online.
All right, so yeah, so it's like, I don't know. I don't know if that's worth it for the extra health. I mean, obviously this has the bounty, which is a bad secondary issue, but it does have Restore 1 too. So, but that's interesting. The other option was like just cutting it and doing one of those. There's one of the generic hero clones that's just a 2/3/2 or something like that. That's it hits a little harder, has less health.
But I like what you said about just getting Ewing online, because if you're playing into the Coordinate plan, which is not a blank text box, don't let people tell you it is. I think the set actually can get that going pretty quickly, especially on leader flip turns. Yeah, I could see some good plays there, and just having the ability to get 7 resources of things out is great. I mean, even playing General Rakin with the 1-drop is good.
Yeah.
In a lot of places.
Right. So there's only 9 turn 1 drops, which I'm not that comfortable with. I actually think that needs to increase. So I already think there's probably something that needs to change. You got the Battlefield Marine, which is a given, great thing and also a trooper, so could get buffed later on. And then 3 copies of the mercenary gunship, just because I need an answer in space to an early A-wing to just nuke it. I think if they came out with anything else, it probably replaces that within reason, but
Yeah.
I think that's just an option for now. So those are like my 9 first turn drops. There's also 2 copies of Timely Intervention. I considered maybe doing the 30 health green base with this and just going with the Timely route. But there's a specific reason named Ayla Sakura that I'll get to eventually. So
yeah, I would say, if you don't mind me chiming in a little bit with some early game plays. So obviously with the ambush, that's what's getting Captain Rex online. So a unit has to attack for you to be able to use its action ability to create the clone trooper kind of sequencing. And so that's where the ECL, the timely interventions, is giving ambush to those units so you can attack on the same turn you're playing something and then hopefully get to use that ability as well. Yep. The other one I was looking at was the new Echo card, the Valiant Arc Trooper. So it's a 2-cost 2/2. It's terrible stats. We hate that. Yeah. But its coordinate effect is it gets +2/+2.
Yeah.
And so obviously Battlefield Marine is just like a staple, always include in pretty much. I haven't seen a green hero deck list that doesn't have Battlefield Marine in it, just going to be honest.
Yeah.
I was like, well, if coordinate's easy to put online, is it worth throwing Echo in as another option for those early game plays?
Yeah, it's interesting because now playing a little bit with coordinate, if I'm playing against like aggro, I feel like I'm getting coordinate online so easily compared to what they're doing. And then when I have better coordinate, I have better anti-aggro stuff. Playing against control, it's kind of miserable. So but that 2-cost Echo could be an option for sure.
So tell me about some of the other new cards that you've kind of added in here, to lean into set 3.
Yeah, one copy of the Clone Wars. It's pay any number of resources, create that many Clone Trooper tokens. Each opponent creates that many Battle Droid tokens. I think it's interesting. I haven't played it yet. It's in the deck, but I haven't actually played it to be like, oh, this felt great or this felt bad. So we'll see. 3 copies of the Echo-based Defender. It's a Trooper. It's a Sentinel. It's a 4/3. I mean, what's not to love? 2 copies of the Sundari Peacekeeper, also a Trooper, and a great ambush target, especially against aggro. If you can turn on the raid with ambush, you get the restore 2, all good things. Already talked about Admiral Yularen, manufactured soldiers, talked about that. 3 copies of Bright Hope, which also Bright Hope is nice with the Clone Deserter, having that 1-cost thing to pull back to draw a card you could potentially drop again. Command, just really there for the ramp if we can, but also has a little bit of board control because you have to do a lot of fighting in this deck without it. Shock T, again, a reason kind of where this deck began, an idea to get it going. 2 copies of Agent Callus.
Talk to me about this guy, because he has not seen play.
Yeah, no, everybody was playing with him before the game release, and then nobody played Callus. Because really, a 5-cost 4/4 feels bad. It just, most of the time you're trading units, but he is a Trooper. So if you get Rex out there first and turning on the Trooper buff, then you can ambush him as a 4/5 that gets buffs 4 Troopers, and you might get some card draw in there too with the ambush. So it's an idea. I'm not like it has to happen this way, but having 5 health I think makes him a little bit more playable, sort of like how we play Bosk as a 5-cost 4/5 with ambush. So I don't know. This is way too early deck theory testing, but I'm like, I want to see how many Troopers I can actually get in here for that that ability, and he's one of them. Let's talk Ayla Secura, okay?
Yeah, come on.
The legendary...
You were excited about this one.
Okay, first of all, I played Rey Ayla at the Destiny World Championships in 2018, so I owe her a lot, and so I'm giving her the good old-fashioned college try. She is a 5-cost 6/5 with coordinate on attack, prevent all combat damage that would be dealt to this unit for this attack. Now, on the 5 resource turn, if you deploy Rex with a clone and they don't immediately answer it, and that's assuming you have no other units out there for whatever reason, nothing in space, nothing out there in general, and you just deployed Rex and you just had Ayla, if you ECL her in, she is hitting for 6 on the resource and taking nothing back.
Correct.
Which is pretty nasty for a lot of leaders to be able to come in and hit for 6 and take nothing back. And even just having timely intervention in the resources, having her later, if you can ambush something and do 6 and take nothing back, and then have a unit that hits for 6, it seems pretty sweet. Rex seems to be the one deck that might be able to do the coordinate thing a little bit easier than others. So I don't know. What do you think about Ayla?
Yeah, I think. I mean, first strike is a common keyword in a lot of different games, and so Han Solo is a great example of that from set 1, where you were trying to ramp to 7 to play Han, get the ability, kill their unit, you stay as a 6/6, and you're living happy. This one doesn't have ambush, and so you're having to put a little bit more work, but it's 2 cost less to make that happen, and that's a big deal. And so as far as, the ECL idea, that makes sense to me, because you can ECL this in when Rex flips and just have the board and then keep the board to victory kind of deal. So that would typically be your momentum shift turn, that you're now the aggressor trying to just whittle their base down as quickly as possible.
Yep.
And so, I think Ayla's great. I think it's a card that they have to answer quickly. And I mean, everybody's playing Poe as a 5-cost 6/6. This is 1 less health, but this can also trade in if needed.
She could have, if Admiral Yularen is out there, she could have 6 health.
Yeah, and there are definitely ways to make that happen.
Yeah.
There's other things that I really want to investigate with this deck as well. Like, is General's Blade worthwhile, since it's attaching to a Jedi unit? And you have a couple Jedis in here. You have Shakti, you have Ayla. And I was going to ask as well about, is General Krell worth considering? Hear me out. It's a Jedi. It's double green. And it says each other friendly unit gains when defeated, you may draw a card. So all those little clone troopers that you were making say when defeated, you may draw a card. And I'm just like, if there was ever a time for Krell to come in all of his glory, feels like a little pipe dream. But I was like, I got to test it.
Yeah, I did look at it for about 3 seconds. And then
you saw the stat line and said,
saw
no,
the 4 health and I said... But
dice to Chewie, therefore we can't play it.
And maybe I should have said this at the beginning. I'm not trying to win Galactic Championship next week with this deck. There is a severe lack of casual decks on YouTube right now, and
I agree.
That's part of why I'm like, I need to get back into some jank, some of the things that call to me in card games. So there could be a version of this where I play Krell just to say I actually played General Krell. And one time I got a clone to die, and one time I drew a card.
That's right.
So that's certainly a thing. Sure. Yeah.
There's a lot of fun in this. I love the thematics of the deck. I like that it feels like you're building a quick army that's really fighting it out. And you're really. It's funny that you made this deck, because somebody who doesn't love to do math, this requires a lot of mental math gymnastics.
I was thinking about all the little markers of the extra health and the extra +1/+1, but hopefully I can learn it so well that the other opponent doesn't understand that. Oh, that thing actually has 5 health, not 3, and
that's right. It's a static ability. I don't have to show you. It's on the card.
Yeah.
You just need some sort of device with your tokens on your side, so but they don't know your side.
Yeah, for real.
But no, this is cool. So as you've been playing, how do you win the game? What's your goal here?
I mean, purely go wide, overwhelm with sheer numbers and sticky units that don't die quick. I mean, even the Peacekeepers have 5 health. Yularen has 5 health. There's some stuff here that just sticks around. Bright Hope has 6 health. Unless you're doing the blue, take down, fell the dragon kind of stuff. But even fell doesn't hit that much in this deck. But then at the top end, we didn't get into it, but General Riken comes in and stalls out and protects all your little weenies. Captain Rex drops, and Captain Rex turns coordinate on immediately just by playing it. And then you've got Ewing and Home 1 to finish the game in many ways. So it could be pretty weak to Super Laser Blast kind of stuff. If you get in the control matchup and you get to that 8 cost, I mean, to rally it back together, it could be pretty tough. But so I think you do want to win somewhat early, just by sheer numbers and sheer attrition. But it's an early concept for sure.
Yeah, no, I like the idea. So as I'm thinking through the general strategies of the Star Wars Unlimited deck list, obviously with aggro, you're trying to clear their board quickly and then win that way if they've already exhausted their hand and their board, and then you can win over time. You have some restore in this deck list already, so you can definitely get there for sure. And then against control decks, typically I think the go wide strategy is the way to go. And so this deck just pumps out units. If they're gonna have to get creative, like if they take something down, you typically don't care because you have 3 or 4 other units out. They're able to get to the late game. When you play a unit, they kill that unit. End turn.
Yep.
And then you play a unit, and so you definitely have some flexibility to kind of finagle around that. I think from there, it's just after you get reps in with the deck, figuring out like, okay, does it need more late game to just kind of come over the top to win, or does it need more early game just to keep flooding the board because you have card draw going?
Yeah.
And there's a lot of like fun sideboard options you can consider. Like General's Blade you can consider if you want to make something tall. You have some Jedis in here, and you can put that on a non-Jedi unit and just make a big unit.
I did think about attack pattern Delta from set 1. It's the double green 3 cost that gives +3, +2, +1 to 3 different units. I said, you know what? This might be the deck that can pull that off with more consistency. Where if you have a couple clones and then something else, some random thing, like you can maybe rush down, maybe do a little bit more aggro attrition. So I'm not sure, but
and there's other plays too. Like you can do choose sides. It's another late game card that if you're playing that control, you just give one of your little weenies away and you take their Avenger and call it a day.
There we go.
That doesn't seem like a very fair trade.
Oh my gosh!
But...
Yeah. Like do the manufacturer soldiers make 3 battle droids and then they play Avenger? You kill a battle droid, then you play choose sides and switch.
Totally. Yeah, have a good time with that.
I would try that actually. This might be the deck where like choose sides is pretty sweet. So let's go.
And then obviously you have some ramp options that you can potentially consider adding in there if you wanted to go resupply Spark of Hope. If you're just needing to do that. I feel like green currently doesn't have the super late game outside of like home 1 and the U-Wing that you're really trying to get to. So I like what you did with just the command as kind of the ramp and buff, or the ramp and like recursion back into hand, things like that.
Yeah.
It's got some cool pieces there for sure. But there's so many green cards that like I want to make work in this deck. I think I was telling you. Yeah, there's tons of Akbar options. And they even made an event, I forget what the name of it is, but it has the text of Akbar of deal damage equal to the number of units you have on that side. So it's like, okay, are we going all in on Akbar now? There's a lot of cool things. So that's sweet. I like it. I'm so excited for set 3 and just the new leaders to come out and the deck brewing opportunities that come with it. And surely this is going to go win a planetary qualifier so soon.
Sounds good. All right, guys, thanks for watching.
Sweet.
Bye.